Alright, I bet everyone in this room has heard of autism. There's a nonprofit organization called Autism Speaks, and they focus their efforts on every aspect of this disorder. I chose to talk to you today about Autism Speaks because my mom works with autistic children every day, and this kind of piqued my interest in it. And I've done a lot of research to try and tell you something new about it today. So today, in my speech, we will talk about what Autism Speaks does, dissemination and their role in it, and how Autism Speaks spends their money. So first, let's take a look at what Autism Speaks does. Autism Speaks is the world's leading autism science and advocacy organization. Autism Speaks simultaneously funds research in 4 areas: etiology, biology, diagnosis, and treatment. First, let's take a look at etiology. Etiology is the causes of autism. Through genetics, we have learned that a genetic change in a single gene or a point mutation can cause autism. So this is like extremely mind-boggling because it's just one little gene and it changes everything. Through environmental science, we have learned that prenatal exposure to chemicals such as thalidomide have been linked to increased risks of autism. And then epidemiology is like a full report of a disease or disorder, and so it covers the causes, the distribution, so where it's happening, and the frequency. Next is biology. Biology is the biological problems associated with autism. And there are 2 areas of science that it goes into, and Merriam-Webster Dictionary has defined these for us. Neuroscience deals with the anatomy, biochemistry, and molecular biology of nerves and nervous tissue, especially with their relation to behavior and learning. Physiology deals with the functions and activities of life and the physical and chemical phenomena involved. Thirdly is diagnosis. This is how to know if someone has autism. And this has 3 areas as well. Behavioral methods is when you compare the child that you want to know if they have autism, you compare their behavior to someone who you know doesn't have it. The characterization of autism phenotypes, it goes along with behavioral methods. It's like the physical attributes of it, so the way they look. And then biological methods, it's when you test their blood, their urine, etc., and compare it to that person you know who doesn't have it. Lastly is treatment. This is how to help people with autism. So there's 4 different ways, but most of the time they get used together. So behavioral methods, they use classical conditioning or operant conditioning to try and teach the child. Then there's biomedical methods where they have the same goal, but they use medicine. Then there's technological methods, which hardly ever gets used on its own, where you have like a program or a video that models the behavior that you want. And then intervention services. The recently updated Southwestern Autism Research and Resource Center proclaimed that many children have oral sensitivities that give rise to problems eating food with certain tastes or textures. So what intervention services is they go in and help break those habits, because if it continues, the child can be malnutritioned, or it might even lead to them having to have a feeding tube. So next, let's talk about dissemination. In a recent interview with Lisa Adams, a childhood special education teacher in the Francis School District, Lisa stated that before we knew what autism was, people were often labeled schizophrenic and either institutionalized, heavily medicated, or both. Kathleen Owens, the applied behavior analysis specialist for the Francis School District, stated that by analyzing the behaviors of people with autism, we are now able to use this information to help teach many of these individuals daily routines that a lot of us take for granted. In a recent interview with Tracy Bowden, a para-educator at Cosley Elementary, Tracy thinks it is wonderful that there is a group that helps advocate for children with autism, because many people don't understand how autism can affect a family. And then this is the definition of dissemination. And the Autism Speaks increases awareness through e-news, mailings, website updates, and postings, and events. Now let's take a look at how they spend their money. The first category is programs and services. And This is things such as Walk Now for Autism Speaks, which happens in a different city every year. And then there's fundraising, administration, and deficit. Everybody knows what fundraising is, everybody knows what deficit is. So administration, that covers expenses for salaries for senior executives, costs for accounting, for contracting, that kind of thing. So today in my speech we talked about what Autism Speaks does, how Autism Speaks spends their money, and dissemination, and Autism Speaks' role in that. Thank you for your time.